Hey there, and welcome to your Airdrie Real Estate Market update for August 2024. Now we're halfway through summer now, and we're definitely seeing some changes in our market. Now what we want to figure out is if we're seeing normal seasonal changes or if there's something different going on in our market as we get closer to the fall. So we're going to go through our overall Airdrie stats first, and then we're going to jump into a few other stats that I think are interesting and help us paint a picture of what's going on in our market right now. So starting off with our sales in Airdrie, for the month of July we had 186 sales in the city. Now that is down from last month's 209, but sales going down from June to July is expected, so nothing really shocking there. You can see on this chart that we're still above the 10-year average for July sales, which is that blue line right there, and fairly in line with the last couple of years as well. Now moving on to the new listings next, we had 287 new listings come on the market within the month. Now what's interesting here is that this is our highest monthly new listings number all year, which is interesting because typically our highest amount of new listings will come in one of the months between March and May every year. And there's different reasons why this could be happening, and it's hard to say for certain. That could be that interest rates have dropped, so sellers are feeling more confident that more buyers will be out there shopping, or since interest rates have dropped, those sellers could be ready to search for their next home and get that next mortgage. Or it could be that more and more homeowners will be soon facing mortgage renewals that will have them in interest rates that are 2 to 3 times their current rate, and they want to cash out now. Ultimately, it's impossible to say for sure, but high new listings in July is definitely something to keep an eye on to see if it continues into August here. And I can tell you that as of August 9th, the day that we're shooting this video right now, we're on pace to see 258 new listings, which would be another big number to see in the summer months. Alright, now let's move on to our inventory. Now at the end of July, we had 298 active listings in Airdrie, which is a pretty big jump compared to the 233 we had to start July with. Now this is also the closest we've been to 300 listings in the city since spring of 2021. Now as I mentioned, we're shooting this video on August 9th, so as of today, we have bumped over 300 to an inventory of 301 listings now. Alright, so now that we have our sales and our inventory, we can figure out our months of supply. So currently in Airdrie, we have a month's supply of 1.6 months. Now this is a big jump from last month's 1.1, but it still keeps us within that seller's market, which is under 2 months supply. Now I am fairly confident that we will see that number bump over the 2 months mark into the fall, but we're just gonna have to wait and find out. And of course, the big one that a lot of you wanna know is what's going on with our prices right now. Well, last month was the first month in 2024 that we've seen a reduction in our overall benchmark price for the city, though it was very small, but we are seeing our benchmark price down 0.1% since June. Now the market's pricing stats change a lot depending on the segment of the market that you're looking in, so let's see how each style of home is performing into the summer months. And starting first with our detached homes, we had 92 sales in July, and we currently have 196 active listings, which gives us a month's supply of 2.13 months. So here in the detached segment of the market, we are technically into a more balanced market territory, but of course it matters what price range we're looking at, so let's look into that a bit. So if we're looking at detached homes under $500,000, it's not many these days, so we only had 7 sales in July, and we currently have 7 active listings, which gives us exactly 1 month's supply and a very strong seller's market. Now between $500,000 and $700,000, we had 60 sales in July, and we currently have 88 active listings. So in this range, we have 1.46 months supply, more than under $500,000, but also very much still in a seller's market. Now last, let's look at the $700,000 to $1 million range, and here we had 23 sales in July, but we currently have 81 active listings, which gives us 3.52 months supply here and puts this range to the top end of a balanced market and starting to make its way into that buyer's market territory at 4 months. Now as for prices in our detached market, overall the benchmark price stayed basically even with last month, down just 0.02% since June, but even though it's very tiny, that is our first move down in prices here in 2024. Now keep in mind that's for all detached homes. For those lower ranges that are still in those strong sellers markets, their prices would still be going up a bit, but those higher price ranges would be coming down a bit, bringing that overall stat down. Alright, now moving on to duplexes here in Airdrie. Here we had 14 sales in July, and we currently have just 18 active listings, which gives our semi-detached market only 1.29 months supply and very much still in a seller's market. Here we saw prices move up slightly for the month, up 0.3% since June. And now looking at the townhouse segment of our market, with more and more of these being built these days, this style is becoming a larger part of our market here in Airdrie. Here in the townhouses, we saw 56 sales in July, and we currently have 62 active listings. So that gives us a month supply of just 1.11 months in that townhouse market, so also very much in a seller's market. And we also saw the benchmark price increase 0.3% for these last month as well. And lastly, let's take a look at our condos here in Airdrie, which have been the hottest market in the city for nearly the past 2 years. And we saw 24 sales in July, and we currently have just 22 active listings in that condo market. So this gives us a month supply of under 1 month at just 0.92 months supply. So we're still in that extreme seller's market territory for our condo market, and we can see that in the price movement. The condo benchmark price is up 1.5% in just the last month again. So it seems that right now, maybe even more so than the last couple of years, buyers are really favoring the lower price points when comparing the stats to those higher price points. So I have a couple more stats I wanted to go through because I think they'll be interesting ones to keep an eye on through the rest of 2024 and in through even the next couple of years. I'm going to pull up a couple inventory charts here that we can look at. The first one on the left shows July inventory for Airdrie for the last 13 years. And you can see on this chart the big increase we had in overall inventory from 2013 to 2018 before it started coming back down and getting into a seller's market in 2021. So now that we've seen our first big increase year over year on this chart, I'm curious to see if our inventory levels out in this range over the next few years or if we'll be back to trending back up. And then the chart on the right, which is similar, but all those vertical blue lines show the inventory levels for each month of the year. So every year on here, you can see the inventory going up through the spring months and then coming down again through the fall and winter. But what's interesting on this one is that green line, which is the inventory trend line. Now it's flattened out and very recently started curving up a bit. So similar to the chart on the left, it's going to be interesting to see if that stays fairly flat where it is or if it's going to start to climb up. Now ultimately those are just interesting to see what the trends are doing over the long term, and as far as where we're going from here, of course no one knows, but I can definitely give you my opinion. I think for the rest of 2024 here, we're going to see those prices flatten out overall, even in those lower price ranges, and probably a bit more on the higher ranges. But moving into 2025, if we have some more rate drops happen, I think we're going to have another late winter and spring next year, and I think we're going to see prices move up a few more percent in the new year. Now that being said, there's a lot of factors that play into the housing market, and no one knows for sure what will happen. Big factors for us here right now are how many people continue to move to Alberta, how much new inventory builders can pump out, and what our interest rates are going to do heading into 2025, but we'll all just have to wait and see what happens. I hope you learned something about our market in this video today. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. My name is Brad Walker. I'm a local Airdrie realtor with Redline and Real Broker, and we'll see you in the next video.